Hey, Shalom Akim, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Upakadash, double honors and salutations to the elders and apostles of group, Mr. Well. This is a bit of nurture, again, another short lesson to defy the hopeful elect, the Akim, out there on the highways and byways, preaching the gospel of Ba'ashem, assuring sincerity and truth and diligence of mind. So I got this quick lesson just to bring up to inform Akim about the times of Jacob's trouble we're about to go into, because as you can see the title of the video on the screen, it says the Tulsa lynching of 1921, right? And it says Black Wall Street. So it's a documentary, incidents happened. So it's just one thing I can need to remember, man. You can't get comfortable here in Babylon. Alright, this place is a land of bitterness. Alright, so that's why you hear us have captivity. Alright, it's been a burden to our people, but our people are asleep. Alright, so it's up to the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shai, Ba'ashem Kwakadash, to send His Holy Spirit upon our people to wake up. Alright, to accept the gospel of salvation, the gospel of faith, so our people can be delivered from the noise of the archers, from the pestilence upon the face of the earth, from the angry mob of the heathen, especially the Edomites. Alright, so I'll play this video and I get a couple of precepts, because there's the times we're going into, man. A lot of folks are going to be frustrated, and then they're going to take out their anger upon our people.
Then I ran to the window and looked out. There I saw many people gathered in little squads, talking excitedly. Going downstairs to the street, I was told of the threatened lynching and that some of our group were going to give added protection to the boy. I am told that this little bunch of black men marched up to the jail where there were already over 500 white men gathered, and that this number will soon swell to over 1,000. Someone fired a stray shot, and to use the expression of General Grant, all hell broke loose.
The first one was shot on Main Street, right in front of the biggest picture palace. His falling brought the crowd to a halt. They just stood and looked at him. 3 or 4 ambulances clanged down to the place, but the crowd turned on them and showed their guns.
That's what it's going to be like in these last days, So it's going to get messed up. It's going to get very violent and dirty. During these cops, we want no parts of it, because they won't be able to stand against the people when you read Second Ezra.
Others.
And then that's neighborhood Jake used to live in, man. How messed up it became.
In his house. In a frenzy of destruction and violence, black corpses were tied to the bumpers of automobiles and dragged through the Greenwood district, while bullets were fired into their bodies. Some bodies were hoisted on telephone poles. An elderly black couple was murdered returning from church. A white man, mistaken for a black man, was summarily executed. Enterprising entrepreneurs snapped pictures of ugly scenes to be sold later as postcards entitled, "Running the Negro Out of Tulsa." Death could come easily. Even a defiant glance at a camera could result in instant execution. America's most renowned black surgeon and past president of the State Medical Association, Dr. A.C. Jackson, was shot by a white teenager as he held his hands above his head.
And that's American history, man. You just laugh, because the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai says He's going to laugh at our calamities, right? Because our people, we are thinking of prospering here in Babylon. All right, and this is what happens, man. When you don't have the hedge of the Lord Yahweh Shimei Shai on your side, you become a victim of the terror that's coming upon the face of the earth. So it doesn't matter what the qualifications Jakes had back then, lawyers, doctors, alright, businessmen, military veterans, it didn't matter. The Lord Yahweh Shimei Shai turned the wrath of these Edomites upon them because you know how it is, man. These Edomites were so jealous of Jake's because you know how Jake is. His blessing, you know, makes him to shine above every other person upon the face of the earth when it comes to commerce, doing business. All right, but these Edomites didn't like it. They didn't like that Jake had structure, that Jake had balance, it had flavor. They were prospering, but they got angry, So that's what happened, man. Because you know how this was after World War One. These Edomites, man, the Bavarians were upset because they didn't have, the goods, that Jakes had. They were looking for someone to blame. The same thing with the Edomite women. The Edomite communities that were impoverished were jealous. So they did what they could do best, which is to destroy. That's what the Lord Yahushua talked about in John chapter 10, verse 10. And then you look at the book of Micah, chapter 2, verse 10. And it says, Arise, ye, and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. It shall destroy you, even with the sword destruction. That's what our people have forgotten, to hold on to the words of the Lord Yahweh Shimei Shai. Alright, they didn't have the knowledge of these holy scriptures in a proper measure back then. So that's what happens, man. It wasn't time for our people to wake up. So the Lord just showed his power that he's still angry at our people, and he allowed his Edomites to do a lot of damage. Alright. And then you look at the book of Ezekiel chapter 25 and verse 12, and it says, Thus said the Lord Yahweh Bashim Shai Bashim Kwakadash, because that Edom had dealt against the house of Judah by taking violence. And that's exactly what happened in this account in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Alright, Esau did a lot of damage. They killed men, women, and children. It didn't matter how old they were. He did a lot of damage, destruction. Alright.
His body was thrown into a truck and he was dumped at the convention center, where after hours of suffering without medical attention, he bled to death.
Cars began to drive slowly along our street. Cars driven by the sort of men who wear their caps backward, visors down their necks. Probably.
Yep, so you know how Esau is. He had to get down with his sword, the machine gun, the hunting rifles, his airplanes. So they were dropping bombs, man, on Jake's neighborhoods. So I shouldn't be surprised, man. Shit like that happens again. Alright, in this day and time that we are approaching. Okay. So it says, and had greatly offended and revenged himself upon them. So Ezekiel chapter 25, verse 12, thus said the Lord Yahweh Hashem Ashab Hashem Kokadash, because that Edom had dealt against the house of Judah by taking vengeance, and had greatly offended and revenged himself upon them. So that's what these Edomites did, man, to Judah. Alright, they set that brotherly covenant aside, and they went to work. They became violent. So this Edomite men, women, and children, they were looting. They were looting Jake's neighborhood. They loot the homes and then they burn it down. All right.
Not to interfere with their rifle gaze. And the niggers in these houses, they would shout. The gaping children were called in hastily from the curbs. Didn't seem a very educational sight. Not a very safe one. After the first car, so people sent their servants down in the cellar or up in the attic and waited.
Then the horde of ruffians went down Detroit, looting those beautiful homes of everything valuable and burning them. The machine guns just shattered the walls of the homes. The fire department came out and protected the white homes on the west side of the street. Men and women with torches and women with shopping bags continued their looting and burning of Negro homes.
My mother saw some white people coming toward our house, and she put us under the bed when she saw them coming. My older sister got under first, and then it was my younger sister, and then my brother, and then they pulled me under the bed. Now, by this time, the people were coming in. They had torches in their hands. We could see their feet from under the bed. And one stepped on my finger. And as I went to scream, my sister put her hand over my mouth. I don't know today as to what would have happened had they heard us under the bed. But they came in and they set the curtains on fire and set our house on fire, and then went out the door, and my mother got us from under the bed. I will always remember that on this day I live.
Yeah, so it's messed up, man. So this is Jeremiah chapter 30 verse 7. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. So we're gonna go through hell in Babylon, man. There's no doubt about it. There's no questions asked about it. It is what the Lord Shemashas ordained it to be. You're gonna get tried, okay? So what Esau did was systemic. They call the lines of communication, to the district. You can make no phone calls, you can receive no phone calls, you couldn't get any telegraph or send any telegraph, messages, telegram and telegraph. All right, so all that was cut off, so they did it intentionally, they went from neighborhood to neighborhood doing all the destruction. All right, so it's Edomites, man. They don't want to talk about what they really did. They just like to pretend and act as if they have no recollection that they were not the ones responsible for it. But all what they stole, they were able to use it and pass it on. They had it as trophies. All right, so these Edomites, they have a lot to pay for, and that's why the Lord Yahushua is on his way back. All right, so I get another precept here. This is from the book of Psalms, chapter 17, verse 13. All right, it's a prayer I can always like to, recite day in, day out. Psalms chapter 17, verse 13. Arise, O Lord, Yahweh, Shema, Shabbat, Shema, Kokodash, disappoint him, cast him down. All right, these Edomites are enemies, okay? Deliver my soul from the wicked, all right, the so-called white man, which is thy sword. All right, so these Edomites, man, they're on the left hand of the Lord, and they're here to do a lot of damage and destruction. All right, so just pray that the Spirit of the Lord Yahweh Shemashah is upon you, that you do not lose your faith, that you do not lose your confidence in the Lord Yahweh Shemashah in these last days, when they come after the men of the Lord. Okay, so you gotta know what side you have to be on, the side of righteousness. And one more precept is going to be from the book of Psalms also. It's Psalms chapter 137. All right, so you see how to destroy Jake's neighborhood.
The son of a cook in our street.
Fire.
Around 9 o'clock, the man he worked for came and asked for Hattie. He was in a car with some other men.
It's a whole neighborhood filled with smoke. So this is Psalms 137, verse 7. So it says, remember, O Lord, Yahweh, Shema, Shabbat, Shema, Kokodash, the children of Edom, all right, the so-called Caucasians, so-called white men, in the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it, even to the foundation thereof. And that's exactly what they did. Alright, so you could fast forward the video, you see all the damage that Esau caused, and he knows his time is up and that he's going to pay for it.
Been the messenger in a bank for 20 years. They knew there was trouble, of course, but the mob had missed them so far. Uncle Zach had never been late to the bank, and he trusted white folks. He thought maybe if he put on his uniform and they saw it, he put it on and started out to work. Someone shot him at the corner.
Yeah, that's a so-called Jake that was a military veteran. Put on his uniform and thought that would protect him, but nope, he got smoked. So that's one thing our people need to realize, man. It don't matter if you're a police officer, FBI agent, Secret Service agent, CIA agent, an NSA agent. If you so-called Negroes, Latino, Native American, Edomite sees you and don't like you, it doesn't matter if the Edomite is a teenage boy or girl, man or woman, he feels like smoking you, that's it. So our people have this sense of false security, a sense of false hope in Babylon, and they're gonna be up for a rude awakening.
You could see him lying there. She didn't dare go out and get him. The mob was so close.
As North Tulsa burned and its citizens murdered and arrested, the guard set up camp and began to prepare a breakfast. When a local citizen urged the commander to take some action to save property and lives, he was arrested. Martial law was declared at 11:29 a.m.
The Ku Klux Klan, realizing that they were now up against an organized military force, withdrew out of the area and dissipated back into their neighborhoods.
That's the point right there, man. That's how Esau is, man. So Klansmen are not, all Edomites gonna pay for this according to the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai. So that was the point that I came, hope you're edified. Pray the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai, puts the spirit on you not to depend on Babylon, not to get comfortable in this place. Shalom.